Hello everyone, this is Ashley Tucker. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be making 2 cards using the Simon Says Stamp card kit for October. I started with one of the pieces of Yupo paper that's provided in the kit, and I have it placed on my craft mat to protect my surface. This kit comes with 3 different colors of Tim Holtz alcohol ink. Those colors are Sunshine Yellow, Sunset Orange, and Stream. I used those 3 colors, and then I also added in the colors Butterscotch and Wild Plum. I started out by adding drops of each color, starting in the corners and working my way towards the center, and then once I had each color placed, I went over the whole thing with a bunch of the blending solution. Next, I used a straw to get the color moving. The October card kit comes with some really beautiful Gina K foils, and I picked out one of them and I'm just pressing it really well onto that paper, and the foil will stick to some of the areas that are a little bit more sticky. I didn't want a whole lot of foil on this. I wanted it mostly for accents, so I did let this dry for a decent amount of time before adding the foil. Another reason that I don't have a lot of foil sticking to this is because I used that straw on the areas of the alcohol ink that were really concentrated in order to spread them out more, and that helps them to dry a little bit better so that they're not as sticky. This Simon Says Stamp Yupo paper is large enough where I could get 2 cards out of it, so I used my trimmer and I chopped it in half. Next, I took the large floral image from the stamp set provided in the kit, and I stamped it onto the first alcohol background using the alcohol lift ink. This ink does exactly what it says it does. It lifts it right off of that paper, and then you can actually stamp with that ink onto something else. So I stamped it onto a piece of Nina, and I'm going to turn that into a card some other time. After you stamp with the alcohol lift ink, you want to take a dry, clean cloth and really go over that area, and this is what really helps to make that image stand out. Once I finished the first background, I did the same exact thing with the second one, stamping that large floral image with the alcohol lift ink and then going over it with a dry cloth. I took a piece of vellum paper and I put it in my MISTI tool, and I prepped it with my powder tool for some embossing. I picked out a sentiment from the stamp set and I stamped it onto that vellum with some Versamark ink, and then I embossed it with a white embossing powder. The sentiment that I chose says, "Happiest of birthdays to you." I'm running really low on birthday cards right now, so I'm trying really hard to make more of them in the coming weeks. So I took this strip of vellum and I folded it around one of the backgrounds, and I adhered the strips to the back. I still haven't gotten a refill for my ATG gun, so temporarily I am using that Elmer's tape runner. I have been considering getting some of the Gina K tape runners. I've heard a lot of good things about them. Though if they're anything like the Gina K Connect glue, they're probably out of stock all of the time because they're so good. Okay, so I took an A2 size card base and I glued a piece of Simon Says Stamp Peacock cardstock to it, and then I popped up this background panel with the vellum wrapped around it onto that card base with some foam tape. For the finishing touches on this card, I first went around the border of the alcohol ink background with my white gel pen, and I did some dashed lines. Next, I used my Gina K Connect glue to add a few white sequins, and then this first card is all done. For my second card, I'm also going to be using some vellum, and I have that inside my MISTI tool and I've prepped it for embossing, and I'm going to stamp some of the floral images from the stamp set. This time I'm stamping some of the smaller floral images, and I'm going to emboss those in white and then fussy cut them out. I stamped a sentiment onto a piece of Simon Says Stamp Peacock cardstock, and I embossed it in white and cut it down into a strip. I then took my vellum floral images and I arranged them next to that sentiment and glued them together using Gina K Connect glue, and then popped the whole thing up onto the card base with some foam tape. I wanted the rows in the arrangement to be a little bit more opaque, so I stamped a second one and I adhered it on top of the first one. The last thing that I did to finish up this second card is I took some of the same white sequins that I used on the first card and I glued them down using my Gina K Connect glue. After that, my cards are done, and here's a closer look at both of them. Thank you for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed these cards that I created using the Simon Says Stamp card kit for October. All of the supplies that I used can be found in the description down below. If you enjoyed watching and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button so that you can see all of my future videos. I'm going to be back with a new video on Monday. Again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a great weekend.